Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining today for our session on database migration and modernization. My name is Haris Zahir Ahmad. I'm a cloud solutions architect here at TecBrix. And during my time, I had the privilege to migrate many organizations' databases from on-premises to AWS cloud, and we have seen many benefits for this migration. So without any further delay, let's get to our agenda point. So today we will be discussing about database migration patterns, AWS purpose-built managed databases, and what are the migration tools and services which we can use to migrate to AWS. And also we'll discuss about some modern data architecture and how TechBricks can help you in that. And also at last, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So let's discuss about the database migration patterns. First, to discuss that, there are some key attributes of modern applications. The modern applications are designed for innovation and agility. In modern applications, there should be no limit in terms of performance and scalability. Plus, the modern applications should be highly available, easily managed, and cost effective. If we talk about the on-premises databases, those sometimes even if you design for innovation as well, but agility is not over there. There are bottlenecks on the performance and scalability because you have deployed your databases on the hardware, and it's not easy to scale even if you have a highly available database deployed in your on premises, but it will not be easy to manage. Plus you will be buying your licenses to maintain your databases. So when you migrate, there will be a lot of questions. So why should I migrate? What are the tools? How I can modernize my infrastructure during migration? What are the applications which I can use to migrate? If I migrate, can I scale it dynamically? So we'll answer all these questions. So the reasons why customers are migrating from the commercial databases to AWS purpose-built databases is that the commercial databases are really expensive and they have restrictive licensing terms. You are bound to pay the licensing fees of your databases if you are on the on premises. So many customers wants to get rid of those vendor locking, and they want to get free from the licensing, and they want to save a lot of cost and spend on some other IT activities. So AWS purpose built databases, when customers move, they want to reduce the cost, which we can do by migrating. They want to increase the agility. They want to innovate faster. So they want to easily spin up the services whenever they need. They want to easily scale up the services whenever they need to meet the business demands. So this kind of agility they need it on AWS. Plus, they want to reduce the cost. So all these things are possible when we are migrating from on-premises to AWS. So when we are migrating from on-premises to AWS, there are three migration patterns which we can use. The first one is rehost, which we usually called as lift and shift. So if you have a homogeneous database migration, for example, you are running Oracle or SQL Server in your on-premises environment, we can just install an agent or use the AWS database migration service to migrate them as a lift and shift on a virtual machine on EC2 instance. Because if you are migrating your other applications using lift and shift, and you have your Oracle or MS SQL databases, that you can migrate through lift and shift. Plus you can re-platform as well. Re-platform means that if you have your databases on premises, and once while you are migrating to the AWS, you are re-platforming, you are going to the native AWS services, for example Amazon RDS for your databases. And the benefits you get by migrating or moving to RDS is that you will be having auto provisioning. Almost all the manual tasks which you are doing on premises, you will not be doing on the cloud, and everything will be managed by AWS. For example, the backups, the recovery, the patching of the underlying operating system, everything will be managed by AWS. The backups are so easy that you can just have to select the time at which you want to backup your databases. And if you want to have a high availability or a disaster recovery on your database, you can just click on the multi-AZ option on the Amazon RDS, and by that you can have your resiliency as well and fault tolerance as well. If you want read replicas, you can just click to create read replicas, and Amazon RDS will create read replicas for you. So it's very, very easy to operate, and you will be reducing the operational overhead. Plus, if you have the commercial database engines like Oracle and SQL Server, RDS supports that as well. And the third pattern is refactor, modernize. Modernization means that if you are having commercial databases on your on-premises environment, let's say MS SQL, and you want to break free from your legacy databases and you want to reduce the licensing cost, while migrating, you can change the schema of your databases so that you can run on the open source solutions. So there are many tools of AWS which can help us in that. For example, if you are running MS SQL and you want to migrate to the Postgre on RDS, so AWS tools can help you in that. To migrate from the on-premises to AWS, and you are breaking free from the licensing, you are migrating your legacy databases to the to Amazon RDS so that you can get rid of all the manual tasks plus licensing cost. So let's discuss about the AWS purpose built databases use case. So AWS provides a lot of services, and in terms of the databases, we have a lot of options based on our use case. For example, if you are talking about the simple ACID transactions, and you want to lift and shift from on-premises for your ERP, CRM, or any finance applications, you can go to the Amazon Aurora and Amazon RDS. Plus, if you want to have a real time bidding application, shopping cart, or any social product, you can go with the Amazon DynamoDB for your low latency NoSQL database needs. So Amazon DynamoDB is super fast, and it has a lot of features that we can use, and it's the latency and is really, really low. And if you have MongoDB application, or an application that is using MongoDB database in your on-premises, while migrating to the AWS, you can use Amazon DynamoDB because it is compatible with the MongoDB, and you can use it for content management, mobile applications, for anything. And if you want query by key with microsecond latency, and you can always go to the Amazon Elastic Cache, the managed service, and you can have the Redis and Memcache, the options available in the Amazon Elastic Cache. Plus, also you can go with the Amazon Memory DB for Redis. And there are other if you want to have, like, let's say, fraud detection or social networking applications, which needs to if you have a need to quickly and easily create and navigate relationships between data, you can go to the Neptune. And if you want to have some time series databases, you can go to the Amazon Time Stream. If you have any ledger based applications, you can go to the Amazon QLDB. Plus, there is the option for the Amazon key spaces for Apache Cassandra as well. So based on your requirement, Amazon has a wide range of databases which we can use as per our requirement while migrating. So let's discuss about the Amazon RDS. So Amazon RDS is a managed relational database service with a choice of 6 popular database engines. We can use Amazon Aurora, which is the AWS native service. We can choose MySQL, Postgre, MariaDB, Microsoft SQL Server, and Oracle. We can choose any one of these engines and run it on Amazon RDS, which is managed by AWS, which is very easy to administer. You will not be managing the underlying hardware. You will not be managing the operating system. You will not be managing the patching. The security features are built in. So you will just be using the Amazon RDS, using your databases. It is really secure and compliant. It has the options for data encryption at rest. It can do the data encryption in transit, and you can always manage industry standard compliance through Amazon RDS. And Amazon RDS is a very available and durable service. You can have automatic multi AZ data replication. If you want to application to be fault tolerant, for example, if something happens to your primary database, you want the backup database to be come up as a master database in real time. So you can always have the option of multi AZ. It will automatically replicate your data from one availability zone to another availability zone. Plus, you can have the automated backups, you can create the snapshots, you can have the failover whenever you want if something goes wrong. You can create read replicas. Performance and scalable. It is highly scalable. You can just scale your database within few clicks. So you can scale the compute, you can scale the storage, and with the minimal downtime. So RDS is very, very convenient to use. And once you start using it, you'll understand that all the tasks which you are doing in your on-premises system, AWS is taking care of that. So let's discuss about the native AWS service called Amazon Aurora. And it is really, really powerful database service from the AWS. So it has the right compatible with Postgre and MySQL. So if you are using MySQL and Postgre, you can easily migrate to the uh, AWS Aurora. It's like a multilingual genius when it comes to the databases. So it's wide compatible with Postgre and MySQL. So if you are using any one of these databases, you can easily migrate your data without any major code changes in your application. So let's discuss about how it is highly available, durable, and fault tolerant. So it comes up with the native SSD storage layer, and it replicates your data 6 times. So in, for example, if you have are using Amazon Aurora, it will be migrating your data to the three availability zones 6 times, twice in each of the availability zone. So even if something, anything can happen, you will not be losing your data. It's very, very reliable and fault tolerant service. So it got a custom layer that is highly available and durable. So and it is scalable up to 128 terabytes in a single database. So if you want more space, if you want more data, no problem. Amazon Aurora can scale up to a whopping 128 terabytes in a single databases. It's just like having a warehouse that grows automatically as you fill it up. So you don't need to worry about of its storage space. And how it is managing the data, so it is managing the data in a 10 GB protection groups. So it's very smart about writing how it's very smart about how it writes your data. It groups your data into 10 GB protection groups. It means your data is written and protected in manageable chunks. So if you need more space, new groups automatically grow up and you don't need to do anything. And it is having 99.99% uptime SLA from AWS. So if you don't want to afford any downtime in your applications, Amazon Aurora is a perfect fit for you. And you can have a rock solid SLA. And the speed of Amazon Aurora is really, really super fast as compared to other databases. Amazon Aurora also comes up with the serverless offering as well. Serverless offering means that you are not managing anything. The storage, it can grow automatically. If you are adding more and more storage, it can grow. If there is a lot of computation power needed in your applications, Amazon Aurora can scale up to manage your needs automatically. And if there's a huge traffic on your application and you are using Amazon Aurora, it can grow automatically to meet up the demand. And if the traffic decreases, it can also shrink down to save some cost. So you are not managing the actual servers. Amazon Aurora is doing the job for you. So you're just managing your applications, focusing on your business. Rest, everything is being managed. You're not worrying about the scalability of your compute, you're not worrying about the scalability of your storage, and you are getting very high performance as well. So there is another option in the Amazon RDS, which we called as Amazon RDS proxy. So if your application wants to support a huge number of connections, for example, if you want to, have like thousands and millions of connections, so what you can do, you can use Amazon RDS proxy. So it can support a large number of connections. If you can deploy it across multiple availability zones, and it can support failover without losing a connection. So in case if in one availability zone something happens to your RDS proxy, you will not be having disruptions to your usual operations. Your applications will be continuously running. Plus, it can integrate with AWS Secrets Manager, AWS Identity and Access Manager. And also, you can start by within a few clicks from the AWS console. So, if you want a proxy in the AWS RDS, Amazon RDS has a proxy which you can use to scale up to the multiple for thousands of connections. So let's discuss about the migration tools and services. Now we have understand the power of AWS RDS, AWS, Amazon Aurora. Now let's discuss how we can migrate to Amazon RDS and Amazon Aurora. So the database migration journey involves the analysis of your existing applications, the analysis of your databases. Then what you need to do is you need to convert your schema. You need to migrate the data. Maybe you need to change your application code a little bit. You need the proper testing of the new databases. And once the testing is successful, then you need a cutover to that. You can cut over to the latest databases in AWS. So the high level plan includes the analysis. In the analysis, you will doing the assessment of your application, assessment of your databases, and then you plan about it. You will be creating a high level plan, how you will be migrating, how the application will be working after migrating to the AWS. Then you have to do the schema conversion. If you are like migrating like MySQL to MySQL RDS, there is no need for the schema conversion. But if you are modernizing as well, then you may need to convert the schema as well. So you can do the database conversion. AWS has a tools for that as well. Then you create procedures, functions, and database scripts for this conversion. And then maybe you need to do some tweaks in your application code. And you can check the integration with the third parties. Plus, you can migrate your data. Once the schema is converted, you can migrate your data. You can do the functional testing end to end. And then you can do the performance testing as well on your latest databases. Once you have tested everything, you can do the cutover. So you can do the integration and deployment. Then uh, you can have the training and knowledge transfer sessions. You can have the documentation and version control as well, and you can have the post production support. So this is the high level migration plan of your databases to migrate from on premises to AWS. Plus uh, it's just not lift and shift, you are modernizing your database as well. So the AWS migration tools which we use to migrate the databases are AWS Schema Conversion Tool, which is known as AWS SCT. It converts your commercial databases and data warehouse schemas to open source engines or AWS native services such as Amazon Aurora and Amazon Redshift. So even if you don't have, the capacity, or you don't have the skills to migrate the databases from on-premises to AWS, and you don't have the skills to convert the schema, AWS has the tools which can help you to do that. So now AWS schema conversion tool can help you in converting your schema, and so that you can easily migrate to the cloud. There's another service called AWS Database Migration Service, known as AWS DMS. It can easily and securely migrate your databases from on-premises and your data warehouses to AWS. So you just need to connect the source and the destination, and rest everything will be taken care by AWS DMS in a very secure and efficient way. So let's discuss the highlights of the AWS schema conversion tool. So in the schema conversion tool, let's discuss about the how in your migration journey it can help you. So first, AWS SCT helps you assess your existing databases and schema code. So it can provide you the insights like what needs to be converted or modified for a seamless transition to the AWS. So it can really help you to plan around those changes, so that you once you migrate to the AWS, the transition should be very seamless. So planning is very crucial for a successful migration. So schema conversion tool can assist us in creating a well thought out migration plan for the efficient migration. And we can convert the schema and code. So schema conversion tool automates the conversion of your databases schema and code and making it compatible with the target databases. It can automatically do the job for us. So we can say goodbye to the manual code writing. We don't need to write any code manually because schema conversion tool will do the job for us, and we can optimize it. It's not limited to the converting the schema, but it can also help us in improving the performance. So optimization is the key while we are, migrating to the AWS. It's a continuous way to improve ourselves. So schema conversion tool identifies the opportunities to optimize the databases for AWS, making it more efficient, in order and cost effective as well to migrate to the AWS cloud. And it can also useful for migrating data warehouses, whether you are moving from the on-premises solutions or from the other cloud providers. Schema conversion tool ensure that your data warehouse is ready to use on AWS. So how we can use schema conversion tool to modernize our databases? So it can be used for Oracle, it can be used for MS SQL, for IBM DB2. For example, from Oracle, you can migrate it to the Amazon Aurora Postgre or MySQL. Same like for the Microsoft SQL Server, you can migrate to the Amazon Aurora, you can migrate to the Postgre, and schema conversion tool can help you do that. And also we can migrate and modernize our data warehouse to Amazon Redshift. Amazon Redshift is a very highly scalable, efficient service for your data warehousing solutions. So even if you are on multiple vendors or whatever the source which you are using, this tool can help us in migrating our data warehouse to Amazon Redshift. So this is the just some quick snaps of the schema conversion tool. It can do the assessment for us. We can get the assessment report. Plus, it can, convert the schema. So what we need to do, we need to connect our source databases from which we are migrating, for example, MS SQL, and we can connect our target databases, for example, Amazon RDS Postgre, and it can address the warnings and issues as well. So before migrating or before the cutover, we can, you know, remove our any issues which we can get after migrating. So it can notify us on time. So once we migrate, it should be seamless. So now let's discuss about the product highlights of the AWS database migration service and how it enables secure, efficient, and cost-effective database migration. So security is paramount when it comes to the database migration. So AWS DMS ensure that the migration process is protecting your data from unauthorized access or any breaches. So while you are migrating, even we have the options of connecting, the VPN from your on-premises network to the AWS, and we can make sure that the data is transmitting through a secure channel. So before migration, DMS can help us in assessing the source databases, ensuring that we are compatible and ready to migrate to the AWS. Plus, as data integrity matters. So DMS validates the data transferred during migration, ensuring that it arrives at the destination intact and accurate. So AWS DMS will do the validation job for us as well. So if we have a huge amount of data, let's say in multiple terabytes or petabytes of data, AWS DMS can having the integration with AWS Snowball as well for a huge scale migration. Plus, it can keep an eye on the migration process because it is very crucial. So it provides the comprehensive monitoring tools, allowing us to track the progress and performance, where we're standing, what is the the percentage data that has been migrated. So everything we can monitor through AWS DMS. So the AWS DMS also supports real-time data streaming. So it makes it ideal scenarios for where data needs to be continuously synchronized from source and destination. For example, if you are running your databases on premises and you want real-time migration, so AWS DMS can do that. It can do this, data migration on a real time. Plus, it's a very low cost and a very cost effective solution, which we can use with the flexible pricing options. So we can choose the migration strategy which best suits to our requirements. Plus, it can has the multiple options. We can migrate almost from any source to any destination which is available in AWS. It's really efficient. You see, it supports multiple relational databases, multiple NoSQL databases, analytics, and data warehouses. We can migrate data from multiple sources, and we can migrate to the multiple targets. Even we can migrate from Oracle to Oracle if we want to do as lift and shift. Even we can migrate from let's say Oracle to Amazon RDS, or from on-premises SQL Server to Amazon RDS SQL Server. So it can migrate from any source to any target in a very efficient way. So for the AWS, there are a lot of uh, actual customers who are using AWS DMS to migrate their data from on-premises to the AWS cloud. So you see a huge number of customers and huge number of databases which has been migrated from on-premises to AWS. So now let's discuss about the modern data architecture. The modern data architecture are not only just migrating to the cloud. So modernization is equally important as well. We want to scale whenever we want. The innovation velocity is the key to modernization as well. So for example, if we are on the on premises and we do the lift and shift ms equal to ms equal on the virtual machine in AWS, we are in the cloud, we adopt the cloud, then we can move to the managed databases. We can move from managing SQL Server on a virtual machine to the Amazon RDS. We can see the benefit. Now we are moving to the innovation while we are modernizing. If we are using the managed databases, we can scale fast. We can have the whenever the storage scaling, we can have the compute scaling. We can have the automated backups, automated snapshots. We can have the automated patching of the underlying operating system. Everything is being managed by AWS. Perfect. Now we want to break free from the legacy database. We can use the AWS schema conversion tool and break free from the licensing. We want to save that cost. Now we are again achieving the innovation. Now we are migrating from MS SQL to the, for example, PostgreSQL. Now we are again modernizing with the purpose-built databases. Even if, for example, if we need to have a NoSQL databases, or if we need something like data warehouse, we can migrate to the AWS DynamoDB, or we can migrate to the uh, Redshift. So we can migrate plus modernize. So both are equally important. So while we are modernizing, we are reducing the total cost of ownership as well. We are reducing the cost for the management. We are reducing the cost for the services as well. So the migration tools and services. So first, if you are planning to migrate, first we need to create a case. Do the assessment of your existing infrastructure. Do the assessment of your the databases. There are tools available for that. We can use the AWS DMS Fleet Advisor. We can use the schema conversion tool, so it can give assess, and it can help us in the migration. Then we can mobilize through our experience. While after assessment, we can mobilize to the cloud, and then we can migrate and modernize. So we should not be staying at one place if we have the room for improving our infrastructure further. For example, if you are on AWS, let's say on virtual machine running your databases, you can always go to the Amazon RDS. So while you're on RDS, even you can still help yourself by reducing the licensing overhead. And then you can go to the purpose-built database, again modernizing your environment. And again, there are multiple tools, peoples, and programs available to help you in order to achieve your goals. So AWS has a lot of programs which you can discuss as well. MAP, OLA, optimizing licensing assessment, database freedom programs, in which AWS can help you in order to achieve your goal where you want to get rid of the expensive licenses. So how TecBrix can help you in achieving those? So we have a pool of highly skilled specialists. We have frameworks, we have methodologies in order to help you in your migration, in your modernization as well. Plus we can have the advisory and managed services. Even if you want us to manage the client infrastructure and managing the your environment on the cloud, we can do that. So AWS has a lot of programs, the first one is MAP, which is known as Migration Acceleration Program, and OLA as well. So it can accelerate the cloud migration with outcome-driven methodology. So even if you have multiple databases within your existing on-premises system, so we can do the OLA assessment of your on-premises. So we can use tools to automate and accelerate the execution, and it can help you reduce the cost. So plus there are programs for AWS investment as well. So which is OLA. It can so these programs are there to help customers to plan migration path uh, through the complex databases licensing scenarios. So AWS can help you. Even AWS can fund the partners which can actually benefit the end customer to migrate their databases from on-premises to AWS cloud and modernizing them as well. So if we are modernizing, AWS partner can help you, and even AWS can help the AWS partners in order to, help the end customer. So the database freedom, our TechBricks can also help you in the database freedom as well. So we can help you in order to retire your technical debt by migrating away from the commercial databases systems to modern and flexible cloud native solutions. So this is the migration journey which we need to plan in order to achieve the high efficiency and lower cost. So we can advise customers and application architecture as well, and the migration strategies and prioritizations, which applications we should prioritize to migrate. So it's all based on the assessment. We can perform the assessment for you for your existing systems, and we can prioritize, plan, and migrate, and then modernize eventually. So if we want to migrate from the NoSQL to the SQL RDS, so we can use the AWS schema conversion tool, and we can connect our source and the databases, and AWS schema conversion tool can help us in that. So that's it from today's session. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.